So let's go ahead and continue on. I kind of got stuck there at Mercury because for me it's a horrible square. It sets off a major cardinal T square in my chart, and I just felt like I needed that meditation like badly. Now here's the funny thing is that Venus is at 29 degrees of Taurus, and Jupiter is at 29 degrees of Taurus, and Neptune's at 29 degrees of Pisces, believe it or not. So the funny thing is, all of those are harmonious together. It's very pleasant. Venus and Jupiter and Neptune is very otherworldly, and I probably look like a space cadet because I was really getting into the music. And I think some people may be in that otherworldly place where we're just a little spiritual, just a little woo woo, just a little out there, And I think that is something that when you've got Venus and Jupiter and Neptune in harmonious aspect, there's Venus and Jupiter conjoined, but Neptune sextiling that. It's very pleasant, very pleasant, indeed. In fact, since this Venus is opposing my Venus, I think I got a yod going on. So, that's crazy. But I guess it's all about Venus. And here I am trying to talk because my Venus, I know, is sextile my own Mercury in my natal chart, which, by the way, is exactly trine the sun and sitting exactly on Pluto. I didn't realize Pluto was on my Mercury. That explains everything. Okay. So Pluto is at 2 degrees of Aquarius, and it's retrograding now, but it must have gotten pretty close to 3 degrees of Pluto. And the reason I bring this up is that I've been online for about 20 years, and never in those 20 years had I ever gone viral. But within the span of about a month, I was able to amass about 6 million views. And I couldn't understand what was going on. Well, I know now that it was a culmination going toward my Mercury at 3 degrees of Aquarius. Now, this Mercury, or excuse me, this Pluto is now retrograding. So whatever that was, whatever that momentum was with the speech, my voice really is going. I'm going to have to get some tea. But anyway, whatever that momentum was, it's going to come back when Pluto goes direct, because it's going backwards now. So it's kind of dissipating. It's not as strong, but it will be. And with that, you guys, listen, I'm going to pause this really quick and go and get me some liquid. My voice is really, really messed up. Hi. So I'm back, and I got some tea here. So we'll see if we can get through this without too much problem. And I have to apologize for the way I look, because I can see I've got, I should have touched up my makeup. It's 3 in the morning, and I look like it's 3 in the morning because it's 3 in the morning. So, this is what you get when it's 3 in the morning. But let's just kind of go over those planets again. Where were we? We were at the Venus Jupiter conjunction in a trine formation with Neptune in Pisces. It's very dreamy. I just have a dream today, but I don't want to state it unless it happens. So I'm not going to say anything, but I hope it does happen. And that, or at least we're on the road to it. But I dare not say until it happens. but I'm hoping it does happen. Now, I'll move on from that because I don't want to give away what I'm thinking, but I've got a thought here. We've got Mars at 17 degrees of Aries. I just realized I don't have my headsets on. I'm thinking, why do I sound so far away? That's why. So we have Mars at 17 degrees of Aries, and that is actually in between the North Node and Chiron, which are both in Aries as well. The North Node is at 14 degrees of Aries, and Chiron is at 21 degrees of Aries. So Mars is smack dab in the middle of those. And the funny thing is that Mars in Aries is at home. It's happy being its Aries self. It wants to fuel and fan the fires, the flames of whatever, usually justice. That's a word that I would give at this time because the moon is in Sagittarius. So I believe now the thing that I want to happen, I'm not going to say it, but I'm telling you, if it does happen as I believe, then there's going to be a whole bunch of flames of justice and arguing and yelling and disappointments going on because there is a very important court case, and they gave the charges to the jury to give their verdict, and it could make a huge difference in everything, because we've never had a former president that's been actually charged with a felony, especially it's something in this way because it was done, I believe, and most do, to make sure that he won the first election. They wanted to keep it, that's why it's called a hush money trial. And I think what they tried to do in that trial is try to seem as though somehow Michael Cohen's so horrible. He was going to do this. Why? The more they try to paint it like he just went rogue and did it, I'm thinking, come on. It just tests our intelligence. Like, there's no way. And I guess I'm just tired of people playing stupid. Like, at what point does it get to be ridiculous and almost insulting to people who can see right through? So I'm hoping they do the right thing. I don't trust anyone anymore after, what they've been saying about Judge Alito and the other SCOTUS. Uh, I think anything is possible, and I think we should all be prepared for that. And that's what I mean by, the justice, okay? The moon is in Sagittarius. And when that moon, which is at 0 degrees and 46 minutes of Sagittarius, makes that connection at 17 degrees and some minutes of Sagittarius, which is going to do sometime today or tomorrow, most likely today or tomorrow. I'm trying to think, it usually takes like 2.5 hours, so it's maybe tomorrow. But yeah, and when the verdict comes, I just want us all to be okay. I mean, I don't want it to be something stupid because no one else in their right mind would ever be able to do this and get away with it. It's just ridiculous. I'm so tired of just all of it. And I think a lot of people are exhausted. Like, this is exhausting. Just going through these trials with this man and all that he's going through. But anyway, let me explain. The Sagittarius rules justice. It rules dogma. It rules law. Literally, it rules law. It's the house of law, the ninth house. It's police, courts, justice, judges, lawyers, attorneys, verdicts. I mean, that's what it is. It is what it is, and the moon is there, so there's a great likelihood that they're going to come back with a verdict, and that verdict is most likely going to create some type of division based on the fact that the sun is opposed to the moon. especially if it happens within the next couple of hours, which is possible because it's already 6 a.m. on the East Coast. And they could come back early morning with this. It's been predicted that it would come quickly, but some people think they might want to deliberate and go and look at some more of different evidence or whatnot. And I'm thinking, why? Because to me, the whole thing was an insult. But that's okay. If the goal was to find some way to get them off, okay, then but the goal should be to convict him, and that's what their job is. And to me, he's guilty. So, you know, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, and I ended up talking about it. But it's just one of those things that I think is very divisive in our nation. There's so many people, and of course, I can't tell what is a bot and what's not a bot because there's so many Russian bots and stuff on TikTok. But when I post, that's how I generally can tell what the temperature is what's going on there. Because when you go onto YouTube, there's a lot of older people and a lot of, I would say, cult followers that I can't get into. Now, I'm very much into the Midas touch, which I've mentioned before. They're very forward thinking, very progressive, and definitely not pro, 45. So I most likely will listen to them for whatever information I need. But anyway, I just wanted to point this out because, uh, Mars and the moon trine and those fire signs, that's a lot. And I sense a pain, and I'll tell you why. Because Chiron is at 21 degrees of Aries. So once this moon Mars trine happens, and I believe it's meant to happen because it just is, I can tell. Because the moon's going to have to go past that trine with the North Node. Remember, that's at 14 degrees of Aries as well. So once the moon is going to trine both the North Node and Chiron, first of all, the moon trying the North Node is a lesson that we must learn. There is a lesson that we are going to learn when that moon is at 14 degrees of Sagittarius. Most likely, that's when we're going to be hearing either about this verdict or because that's going to be somewhere within the next day or so. Gives us about a day or so. And I think that's about where we are in the time frame for this decision. So it's going to be interesting, especially if they really do make the decision within the next 24 hours. And because today is Thursday, right? Friday. So I'm thinking if they do it Friday, right, within 24 hours, because they got their charges yesterday, so they already started deliberating. And they might have need to call in a few things, and I heard it's going to be horrible. Like they have to, if they want one thing, they've got to, it's just this horrible, long, drawn out thing they've got to do to get documents. And so that may take some time before we hear. But I'm telling you, it's probably going to happen exactly on the full moon in Sagittarius. And I can see all the Sagittarius dogma going up. There's just, I mean, this is going to be something. Look, I just realized this moon is exactly on my ascendant here in Seattle because I have 0 degrees of Sagittarius on my ascendant in Seattle. And yeah, I just realized that. So that's interesting. There's a lot of this 29-degree, 0 degree flavor going on with 29 degrees of Jupiter and 29 degrees of Venus and 29 degrees of Neptune. And so right now, and I think the moon and Neptune are actually trine. because of that. Yeah, they are. And the moon and Jupiter are actually opposed each other because it's basically, Gemini, 0 degrees of Gemini, basically. And the moon's at 0 degrees of a Sagittarius. So there could be this feeling of opposition. Like right now, I'm exhausted. Like it's 3:19 in the morning. I actually feel exhausted. My eyes are burning. Okay, literally they're burning. I'm so tired. But I feel like I have to do this because if I don't do it, I'll miss the opportunity. I won't have the energy. It won't get done, and that'll be it. So I think I've basically gone over where all the planets are anyway, except for I think Uranus, which is at 23 degrees of Taurus, and it's, not really doing anything. It's really kind of wide. It's almost at 24 degrees, but it's kind of wide for Venus and Jupiter. So we're going to leave that alone and let it do what it does all by itself. Also, we've got this Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius that is exactly trying the sun. I mean, exactly trying the sun right now. And so that could be what I'm feeling because it feels really good. And like I was saying earlier, I was born with this Mercury at 3 degrees of Aquarius inside of my first house. So the desire to come and talk and spread whatever message I have right now, it's very, very deep. It's very much there. So that's where the planets are.